I want to tell you about two films that I think will be attending the Oscars together next year. The first is a masterpiece of epic storytelling and quite possibly the best war movie ever made. The second film's an intense personal drama that doesn't even have a soundtrack or a score. Both are must-see films. Let's start with the film that needs to be seen in IMAX to be experienced at its best. I'm talking about Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. It's based on the events of the spring of 1940 in World War II on a French beach where 400,000 retreating British and Allied troops were stranded in the open, waiting to be evacuated to England only 26 miles across the English Channel, all the while being picked off by German planes.
We shall go on to the end. We shall never surrender.
Pay attention to the titles that tell you where you are in the beginning of the film. Nolan puts together three different timelines. You have the beach, where the surrounded men are dying, which takes place over 1 week. Then you have the sea, where the volunteer civilians sailing their own boats to help rescue the men takes place over 1 day. Then you have the air, where Spitfire British pilots give their all against the Germans, which takes place in over 1 hour.
Ready on the stern line.
What are you doing? You know where we're going.
Into war, George.
I'll be useful, sir.
One of ours.
He's on me!
Dunkirk is rated PG-13 and only an hour and 46 minutes. That alone is unique for a war picture. Nolan's decision to tell the epic story this way, to decide not to do it all with just digital effects and instead chose to use over 6,000 extras with real boats and planes used in the actual war, he also chose to have the movie contain very little dialogue, allowing him to create suspense solely through the details of all the madness around the men. That's what makes it so accessible and personal. The film Dunkirk is a must-see this summer.
If we go there, we'll die. You're weekend sailors, not the bloody Navy. You should be at home. There's no hiding from this, son. We have a job to do.
Let's shift gears and go to rural England, back to 1865, for the new film Lady Macbeth. It's the directorial feature film debut of William Oldroyd and stars Cosmo Jarvis, Paul Hilton, Naomi Ackie, and a young woman that may get a Best Actress Award nomination, Florence Pugh, who's Catherine, a young girl being wed to a man twice her age who doesn't love her or even seem to want her.
My father bought you, along with a piece of land not fit enough for a cow to graze upon. You will remain indoors with your prayer book.
The movie has nothing to do with Shakespeare's play, other than the fact that this young Catherine, like the famed Lady Macbeth of literature, will stop at nothing, including murder, to get what she wants. And what she wants is the love of Sebastian, a young worker on her estate. While her new husband and cruel father-in-law are away on business, he stokes the fires of Catherine's bottomless lust.
Do you love me?
Of course.
Do you adore me?
Of course.
Through hell and high water, I will follow you.
Lady Macbeth is rated R, slow-paced, brilliantly acted, and visually stunning. You'll be on the edge of your seat as Catherine gets further and further into trouble, all to have the man she loves. This movie is for adults only, and you'll be talking about it for days after you see it.
Let him out! To the cross. To the
Prison.
To the grave. To the
The sky.
I'd rather stop you breathing than have you doubt how I feel.